Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
All right, how y'all doing today? Today is one of my favorite guests, Miss Magan Swaringen from Next Step Women's Center. And Summer was supposed to be here, and you say she's not feeling well.
She's not feeling well this morning. Something got her.
Well,
She's
something's
gotta
getting a
stay
lot of
home.
people.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just going around. You know, I've been reading in the papers that the flu bug is around.
Yes.
And then, of course, with Christmas and all this, everybody's going to
It
catch
got
it.
me.
Yeah, well, it kind of got me Sunday. I mean, but very briefly. But I've been having all these other respiratory stuff with all the junk in the air or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but how about your kids? I mean, are they doing well?
They're all right now. One of them just got over strep. But other than that,
Yeah,
one out of four is not bad.
Yeah, I went out of wait, just hope.
No, they're not. No, we're not getting sick.
Well, hopefully, you know, with not being school's still going on, though, right?
Yes, tomorrow is the last day for BIS.
Oh, great! So everybody
Yes.
has plenty of time to pass the germs around at the last minute, so you can be sick at the holidays.
Just in time for Christmas.
And,
Yes.
and these kids, they need to know that if you're sick during the holidays, you don't get to make up those days later. It's you use them or lose them, right?
Right.
And that kind of thing. I always thought that was entirely unfair. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting all these other shares taken care of here. There we go. Oh, everybody's getting shared with today. Okay. We're going to talk about Next Step Women's Center, the year they've had, and also what plans they have in the next year. And just in general, because it's been a little while since we've just been...
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Last time you were here, it was during the nonprofit show, like in September.
Yes.
And I think it was like a month prior to that. It was the last time you and Summer were here.
Yes.
I don't know if Summer was here then either. I think she was. No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't here.
Yeah.
I was on a cruise.
That's right.
But Summer was here for North Texas Giving Day. Yes.
Get on a cruise. How nice.
It doesn't happen often, but I appreciate when it does.
Do you like cruises?
You know, my husband really likes cruises. I like vacation. I like the beach.
Okay. See, Robin likes the beach, but she also wants to go on a cruise. I'm like, I'd get claustrophobic, you know, get a little bitty cabin and all that. But that's just
It
me.
really doesn't, like, I thought that too. And I get motion sickness, so I was really concerned. But I feel like I never, like, I just kind of took some Dramamine and went on my way. And I had a great time. We took our kids on that one. They had a great time. And we survived small spaces with the kids. And it really wasn't that stressful.
Thinking, holy moly, I know I'd be sleeping down on the poop deck or whatever they call that thing. But anyway, I'll run a couple of the sponsors, and we're going to talk about your year and what 2024 holds, and then we're going to ask you all your political opinions. No, we're not. Yeah, you like that? Thank you, CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. Hope you're doing well. You know, it's a good time to work out when it's supposedly going to be wintertime soon. I mean, we've been holding it off as long as we could, but you're going to need a place to work out. And, of course, you know, all the eating and festivities that go on with Christmas season, you're going to need some to work out with. So it's a pretty serious workout, but they got trainers, they got staff, they got supervision, they got classes, they got the whole thing. So you're not in there by yourself. Also, Shandy, our friend Shandy, I think she's going to be taking a few days off for the Christmas season. You know, she's a Christmas person, though. She likes that kind of stuff. Are you a Christmas person?
I am a Christmas person.
Well, I see by your sweater here.
Yes.
But, yeah,
all week there's going to be some kind of Christmas festivity
I love
on
that
my
sweater.
outfit.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a nice sweater, but I'm not really that into Christmas. I prefer Thanksgiving. But Christmas is like you bust your hump to get to that day, and then 10 o'clock in the morning, presents are opened, it's over.
But you have to, like, I like to create moments where we're celebrating along the way. Like, I do a cookie decorating day with the niece and nephew and my kids, and, you know, a little holiday movie party here and there.
Holy
like,
moly.
I like to make it fun.
You're so darn wholesome. Anyway, Stog Steel Group, if you're looking to move in this area, you talk to Shandy. She'll help you out really well because she helped us out when we were selling my daughter's house, and so I got seen it up close and personal. Our place, of course, it's all decked out for Christmas. It's a great place. Did you hear what happened? I think it was Monday. There was a large group of diners that intentionally came and left like this massive mega tip
Wow.
for all the staff at our place. I mean, like we're talking four figures total.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not talking about just $5 or
I
whatever.
love that.
Yeah, so but our place is that kind of place, you know. And Burleson's that kind of community. So check out Otto's page if you want to see what I'm talking about more clearly. But he has pictures and everything, and it's really, really nice. But anyway, it's a great place to go. If you want to get some pies, you better make the order quick because, it's a very popular location for that kind of thing. And so our place on the highway in Alsbury, also a lot of Christmas goings on at Wild Cigar and Culture. They got a lot of plans for New Year's Eve. They got plans for all the bowl games. There's so many bowl games that even I, as a college football fan, say this is excessive, But there you go. If you want a place to watch a game, have a drink, have a cigar, it's a good place to do it. That's where Magan gets a cigar.
Obviously.
Yeah. I'm just saying, picturing you in the big old stogie. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Anyway, that's a great place, and it's a good place. It's a place you can relax in, and that's what I like about it. Also, we got a lot going on with Local Life magazine. This month, they have Jennifer Woods on the cover, a Harvest House. And she's going to be here Thursday, so we'll talk all about that, what's going on there. Thank you, Tiffany, for all the stuff you do for the community. The new issue will be out right after the new year. And she told me, and I forgot, I saw her at an event about 10 days ago, and I forgot what it was going to be. I think it's going to be on real estate, but I know one's coming up on real estate. Maybe it's June or January, but who knows. Also, Mr. O'Brien here with the Burleson Buzz. Cody has a really nice thing going on here. So if you go to burlesonbuzz.com/Allard23, you get a discount. And it's already fairly cheap, so affordable, so you're really getting a good deal. He was on the show on the end of November, and he's really putting a lot of effort into this blog. Have you talked with him before?
I have not.
Yeah, you ought to be a really good interview for him. You ought to talk to him. Well,
Yeah.
because he's done, like Center for ASD, he did an interview. I think he did Fitability. So, you ought to be great.
Yeah.
He'll come by, take a look at your joint, all that stuff.
See if we can reach out. Yeah.
Yeah, and his family, his mother and sister, have this business going on that they'll be on a week from Thursday, a mobile bar service. So I'll be asking them.
Are they the Mixie Chicks?
They are.
Yeah.
You know
Did
them?
we find out if they're bringing us drinks?
Yeah.
I know them from the chamber.
Okay.
I met them there. Yes.
Okay.
They're very sweet ladies. Very
Yeah.
sweet ladies.
Well, maybe they'll bring us some samples. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what you're saying? Okay.
Make sure.
I'll put your order in.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so I was going to ask you this question about what I'm reading in the paper, that your type of services, you're not just Next Step, but all those similar to yours, and the number of people seeking abortions have both risen in 23. And it seems to be a bit counterintuitive.
Yes. And I think that the whole what happened post Roe has been counterintuitive. We thought, now I will say I've read articles that say like post Roe, it has saved like 32,000 babies. But also we live in like a digital Amazon kind of age. And so abortion is so accessible, even though it's illegal in the state of Texas, through mail order abortion pills and teledocs. Like I had a client the other day who said something about she was trying to schedule an appointment with us, but she also had a Zoom consult for an abortion. And so it's not, it is counterintuitive, but it's not so shocking to me based on what we've seen. We have been very busy. We've seen 800 plus pregnancy tests.
Oh, you had some stats, but I think
Yes.
I'll probably check them out. But go ahead.
Yeah, 800 I think in 31 pregnancy tests, and we've seen that number's not in there, but we've seen about 1,600 individual clients this year. It's not unheard of for us to on a Monday see 20 clients. It's very busy with people who are trying to figure out all of their resources. What are all my options? And so they're going online and seeing if it's possible to get the abortion pill. And then they're still coming in going, is this really, like, this doesn't feel completely solid. They want to see a person. They want to have an ultrasound still. They just want to figure it out. And which them wanting to still figure it, like take the time to figure it out, has been a blessing for us. It's opened a lot of doors for us to have some really good conversations. Just yesterday, you don't always know what they're choosing when they walk out the door. So I can't always give you numbers on who changed their mind and what, but I know just yesterday we had 2 changed minds that we know for sure, because they were taking the time. And that's one of the things I pray at the beginning of every day is let this be a place of peace. And help them slow down and really process what the conversations we're having here. Like, just let there be a peace about it, because so often, especially because, I mean, I know I do this. Like, this is a problem. My kid needs this thing. I'm going to and I'm going to hurry and get things, just get the job done. Which maybe I'm not doing it all the right way because I'm rushing through things and making quick decisions. And so, our heart is that we're able to help slow them down, because they can very quickly obtain the abortion pills.
Like within 48 hours or something like that?
I don't know the mail time, but I know that they can, like, I know that it's pretty quick.
Well, we have a Supreme Court case coming up about, can Texas ban mailing the pills and all this? And I honestly have no idea how they're going to rule, because I could see the Commerce Clause coming into effect, and also could see the federal issue of, let states make these kind of decisions come in, when the Dobbs decision. I could see a lot of different conflicts with this. But and really that's not what we're here to talk about, is all the politics, because, Texas has been in the news a lot lately about it. And, and that, for you, that must be a lot of outside noise and all this other stuff, but y'all are focused on taking care of the people that walk in the door.
Yeah. And that's that would be my response to that is I'm not sure that, like, legislation is going to be the solution to abortion. I really think these one-on-one relationships and showing up for people. And I have a story on my desk of a client who came in, was looking towards abortion, was going through a process hearing, and at the end of the day, because of her experience with us and how we told her, we have classes, we'll be here for you until the baby's 3, and we'll help you get situated. Her like comment at the end was, I think I'm going to do this because I know I won't be alone.
Well, that's what makes your service so valuable, because I'm looking at, sorry, I still got that cough going on. I was looking at your stats, and the age range is always one thing that struck me, because everybody thinks we're talking about teenage girls or young 20s, whatever, and you got them all over the age of motherhood. And I can just imagine they had this unexpected event happen, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And that's what I like about your service, is because you do provide them with that. And we've talked about this before. I think, in my mind anyway, if it's possible, the majority of these women want their children. I just don't think most women are just like, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm just going to get an abortion. I mean, they're not quite that cavalier about it. And
Right.
And I think a lot of them, they would like a reason and for hope that they can bring these babies to the world.
We do see that a lot.
Yeah.
And we even, it's also a matter of how the partner feels about the pregnancy too. Like, he's her number one influence. And so, one of the big things we've been working towards and building right now is our fatherhood program. And so someone can sit with him and go, man, yeah, this is hard, but here's what you can do. Here's how we can, kind of walk along him too.
Well, another misconception maybe is that the father may be pushing for an abortion for various reasons, but you probably may have it in reverse, where some of these young men want to have the child. I mean, because the stereotypes really just don't apply to what we're talking about here. Because I could very easily see a young man who's now in a relationship, or his girl or his wife is pregnant, and she may have doubts or whatever, but he wants the child, and usually our stereotype would be the other way around.
Yeah. Well, I will say we've seen it both ways. I mean, 831 pregnancy tests. Those are 831 stories and backgrounds, and every one of them is unique. And so you can't hold a stereotype to it, because everyone has their own reasons and their own situation. And some of them are similar, and some of them are shocking, and some of them, they're all just individual. And that's we've seen the dad who would love for her to parent and would love to parent with her. And then we've seen the dad who's like, we can't do this. So
you said 831 tests. A lot of these young women probably already come already knowing that they're pregnant.
Most of them do.
Yeah.
Most of them have taken a pregnancy test. There's a couple reasons why they would still come to us. One is they don't know what to do next. They know they're pregnant, and they don't know. Another one they might come to us is that they Googled the word abortion pill and we came up. And so they came to us to get more education on that. And we're very clear that we only provide education in our text messaging and online, but it's an open door to have a conversation. They might need their proof of pregnancy for Medicaid or help signing up for Medicaid or help finding a doctor. It's overwhelming to find a OBGYN whenever you're like, oh, I'm pregnant. What do I do next?
Right.
And so we're there to help with all of that.
A lot of us, like us married couples, before we had children, you got an OBGYN first.
Yeah.
Then we got into the business of having children, but it's like, no, you don't wait until, I'm 4 months pregnant. I might as well find myself a doctor. No. We had one already lined up.
Yeah.
And we'll call you when we need you, kind of thing. And now I had done the insurance crap and all that other
yes.
business. But I just was thinking probably some of these girls, they come in. I'm always envisioning them coming in like the day after a pregnancy test comes up positive, or they're like 2 weeks late or something like that, and they're flustered. Do you have women coming in? They're like 4 months pregnant or 5 months pregnant?
Not often, but sometimes.
Yeah.
We have had some. We've had some who thought they were 6 weeks and actually turned out to be 3 months. Or we've seen quite a few in different situations.
I just was wondering if you had a situation where maybe a woman is pregnant, and then in the midst of this pregnancy had some sort of financial situation arise, or a catastrophe arise even, or a relationship broke down and she has nowhere else to go, and she's going to have a baby in 3 months. You get those kind of clients?
I don't know that we do, but not maybe that far along. Like I don't know that I've seen one that's like the financial or relationship at the 3 months out from baby, but I have seen it at when they were 3 to 6 months, not 3 to 6, but 3 or 4 months along, like in that second trimester.
Early along.
And that's some of it is they've come in, they've been in this relationship with this guy, and this guy just broke up with them and broke their heart, and now here they are and they're pregnant. Like we've seen all of those stories.
I can't even imagine what kind of person would be like that, though. I mean, a man who doesn't take care of his family, Scripture says, is worse than an infidel. I think that's a quote. Should be. Anyway, I'm just saying it's just, I don't know. Just my mind doesn't go to that place where if, a guy could get a girl pregnant and then walk on her.
Yeah.
But I guess that
sometimes
you see that.
They don't know yet. And sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many stories. There's so many situations. And our heart is that we can provide support for both the mom and the dad, but the women are the ones who we've been here for first. And so we hear more of their stories and spend more time with them, and we make sure that they know that regardless of what happened with their partner, with their parents, with their whoever, like we're here. And whether it be through our education classes that they're building relationships, or through soul care where they're building relationships, our heart is to really continue on our soul care program next year so that we can be really channeling people to local churches well. Our clients so far in our soul care program have really liked our soul care program and really become attached to their leaders. And it's been a little bit hard to be like, all right, let's find a local church, but we're working on some solutions for that. But yeah, we're really also working on how to build more relationships through our education program. This month, actually, Graceview hosted a family event for all of our education clients.
Is that right? Graceview with Aaron Scarborough, right?
Yes.
They did. I know him. Yes, he's been in this studio several times.
Awesome. Yeah, they did a barbecue and put up a bunch of blow ups and did some giveaways.
That's nice.
And we had I don't know the final number. I should pay more attention, but we had all the tables were full. We had full of our clients who came out and had a really good family day, and were able to build relationship with them.
Well, that's a good thing, because I'm sure these young ladies. Oh, I keep going on young ladies. I mean, they're, like I said, you have quite a number in their 30s, but probably they all
30s is still young, sir.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not 40
you're
yet.
right.
I'm still young.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Well, yes. Well, I'm getting up there in age, so everybody's young to me. But what I always envision is, some some sad stories. And then y'all are able to at least, provide them with a foundation where they can move on with their lives and start again and realize their world is not coming to an end. I think a lot of times, I'm not going to get in the mind of a young woman who wants to get an abortion, make all these speculations. But I have to think that they probably feel like they have no other option. And I'm glad that y'all provide that option for them. And do you get young women coming in and want to talk about adoptions? I mean, like having the child and then, or do you connect them to an agency or anything like that?
We have the resources to connect people to adoptions. We do discuss adoption. We haven't had any who've come straight to us looking to place for an adoption. We've had a couple who we've been able to help kind of channel that way. We have actually one of the adoption agencies out of Abilene, Christian Homes. One of their local representatives comes and volunteers a couple times and spends time in our center. And we know we can call her if we have someone who would like to do that. But honestly, we don't have a lot of people who come in looking for that.
Well, I just was thinking maybe, they say, I really don't want an abortion, but I can't have this child, but so I want somebody to have this child. I just wonder if that was, I don't think it'd be your primary duty, I guess, or your primary client, but it would be something that happens on a semi-regular basis, but not as much as I think, then, huh?
Not as much as we would want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing. This is to me, my personal opinion is like, I could see where a young woman would say, we just don't have the resources or the stability to do it, but I want this child to have a life. I mean, there's so many people waiting for adoptions.
Well, I think we were at a conference recently, and it may have been Kirk Cameron, but it was somebody said, former generations would sacrifice their life for a future generation. But our generation is willing to sacrifice the future generation for their life, for themselves. And like, it's unfortunate. And I'm millennial. I'm like lumped into all that, but it's unfortunate, but that's how so many people view life right now, having a child. Like, I don't want to ruin whatever life I had envisioned, or I don't want to, and that's, I have 4 kids. Like, every child is a blessing. I 100% believe that. But I also, I do watch their hardships. I do watch, a client who has to move out of her parents' house because she's being disowned because she's pregnant. Like, we watch those things. Oh, not silently. Like, we show up well. We make sure they have places to go. There are maternity homes. There's lots of options, and we try to help them see that. We try to walk with them through it, but it's hard. What
about the organization up in Fort Worth? Off of 30. The name escapes me. Doggone, my daughter got married in their little not cathedral, but their sanctuary. Lena Pope. You'll deal with them, or Edna Gladney Home, or any of these.
We have all of those resources. I don't know how often we send people to any one organization, right. But I know we have huge books of resources and contacts with all of them that we work with. Wow,
I don't want to get off on this topic, but I've had friends that are now my age roughly that adopted children, and it's an ordeal. It's like 2 years, and then hurry up and wait, and then you get a call, say, if you can be in San Antonio in 48 hours, that kind of thing. I remember in our Sunday school class, the Gardner family, you remember them?
Yes.
And that was how it happened to them. It's like they went through all the process, and then they waited, and then boom, come on down. You got 24 hours to get down here, and that kind of thing. And I just think but it's not like you walk in an adoption agency and about 2 weeks later, there's the child. It's like it
is a process,
long process. And I'm just thinking there's a lot of people willing to go through that process. I wish adoption is more stressed as a option to them just saying, well, I can't do this, and therefore I'm going to order the pill or go to New Mexico or whatever they're doing.
Yes, there are some organizations. There's one called Brave Love that is really focused on the birth mom, and I think their heart is like to show this is a hard process, but it's a good and worthy process. And just present it as a life-giving option. But so much of our culture is just not like, is not self-sacrificing enough to go through that. I've heard in the counseling room things like, for a woman contemplating abortion, I can't imagine giving up my baby, that's not what's happening. You're building an adoption plan and you're placing a child in the family it is a little bit, it's still hard.
Well, I had a friend from back in my youth who fathered a child, and the girl went and had the child and put it up for adoption. And I asked him, a handful of years later, how do you feel about that? Because I would do it all over again, because I know that it was a son, it turns out. I said, my son is been adopted by a good family with a good life. He didn't know who the family was. So he was assuming, I suppose. But he said he's alive and in this world, and he's having a good life. And so I can live with that. That's how he came to peace with. Did he miss that? Yes, he did. It was he did regret that part, but he said, I'd rather him be alive and having a good life than not.
Yes.
So that's kind of how he looked at it, was that, even though he wasn't getting all the benefits of being a father, his son was alive and getting the benefits of having a father.
Yes.
And my friend was in no place to be able to do that back when this happened to him. So, I just never understood that as quite as much. But, I do believe your analysis of this generation, or whoever Kirk Cameron's was or whatever, is
I think
correct.
it was him, but I don't want to say it for sure.
But it is. I just think now we've gotten to a situation where this generation has so focused in on itself that they're not really thinking about the consequences. And it goes so many different ways. It doesn't even have to do with what we're talking about. I mean, there's a reason why we have $32 trillion in debt, because we're spending money today that our kids will be paying for. So that mindset it permeates through everything we do. It seems like these days.
Yeah. Well, let me say one more thing on. We do have staff and volunteers, a few of them who are birth moms who placed a child for adoption, who were teenagers or whatever, and so if that's ever something that somebody is considering and wants to talk about, we don't just have adoption agency links. We also have real life people with real life experience who love to have a conversation.
And I've had a lot of students over the years that I found out were adopted, sometimes in the aftermath. Sometimes I found out kind of silly. I'd say, oh, you look just like your father. And goes, oh, really? I'm adopted. Oh, sorry about that, But, I probably, I don't know, number-wise, but I know I had over 27, 28 years, I had a fairly decent number that were adopted. And when I went to the Christian school for 3 years, there was a high percentage of those. Higher, not 50% certainly, but I would say maybe 10 or 15% of my students were adopted. And, and I just thought, what I looked at when I saw those kids at 17 is somebody somewhere made the brave decision to have that child.
Yes.
And knowing that they may not be able to take care of that child, they gave it to a family that is apparently well off enough to put them in Southwest Christian, something like that.
Yeah.
And of course, Daniel Baisden talks about that, that he has two adopted younger brothers. And of course, the McConnells down in that orphanage have so many children that need adoption and have been adopted. And I just don't know. I kind of got off on a tangent a little bit. I guess that was just on my mind when I was thinking about some of these things. I was driving up here, what I was going to talk about, and when we have so much available to somebody, why would they choose the abortion option? We have.
We those are questions we ask every day, and like you said, adoption it's such a brave choice for a mom. We value that, and most of these adoption agencies value the voice of the mom, and there's a process to take care of her in all of this. There's counseling and there's all kinds of resources to take care of birth mom, because I think sometimes you think, oh, I'm just gonna get place my child and then I'll never, no one's going to be thinking about me. But these days, these adoption agencies are thinking about mom. They are looking for her needs. What does she need next? What does she need to set herself up to to be successful in life after baby comes, and how can we help her, whether it's schooling or counseling or job searching. Like, so many of them are really taking good care of the birth moms.
Well, I'm going to run through these second round of ads because I know these people support what you're doing. I was talking to Gayla at Southern Gym last week, and she was asking who's going to be on the show, and I mentioned that y'all were, and she's, I just love that outfit. I just love that group. But Southern Gym, they're pretty busy, and they're going to be open up till 6 every night this week, and I think till 5 on Saturday, which is not normal. And so they're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to drop on by. You can take Chad by there.
Yeah, and that's what I was just thinking. I need to take Chad over there one of these afternoons.
Yes, that'd be a good idea. And Robin will be there, and she'll love to see you and all this other stuff. But I was talking, talk to Robin occasionally every now and then, and she's saying that they're pretty steady. It hasn't been like a big rush at one time, but it's just a pretty constant flow of customers. So that's a good sign. So it's over at the Standard. They got lots going on, so check it out. Also, our friend John Williams over at Old Pro Roofing, 817-734-2756. Have you had your roof inspected lately, Megan?
Not this year.
Oh, not this year. Okay. Well, you need to have Old Pro check it out. John will come in, he'll check it out, and he'll tell you the truth about it. He checked out my house, and and I was kind of getting prepared. Oh gosh, I don't know how this roof is staying up. We have to repair the whole thing. No, your roof's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
so that's a good thing.
We'll call him.
All right, well, just in case, 817-734-2756. Also, Camco Mortgage. This has been around now for about 2 months with Sammy Campbell and Candy Gal, but they have been around here about 20 years doing mortgage work. So they know this area. They know the business. They've done it twice for me for refinancing. So I could vouch for them as people and as professionals. So call Sammy at 817-778-4592 or Candy at 817-925-2661. And they'll help you refinance. They'll tell you what's going on with the rates. I believe they're kind of slowly drifting downward, so maybe that'll be a good sign. Who knows? But they do, so they'll tell you all about it. So give them a holler if you're looking for some sort of financing. Also, have you heard about this partnership between the Chamber and Burleson PD? These posters are going up all over public spaces in Burleson, restaurants, etc. You ought to get a couple of these.
Yeah, we really should.
Yeah, because it's being a nonprofit, maybe they'll just hand them to you, but they are $7 a piece for these posters to kind of defray the cost a bit. But basically what you're having here is a QR code that you can access if you're a victim of assault, of abuse, sexual assault, anything along those lines, domestic abuse, whatnot. And they're putting them in women's restrooms mostly because that's maybe the only place some of these women have even a minute of privacy for some of the creeps in their life. And the two people that are running it, Stephanie Beard from the Victims Assistance Organization over at Burleson PD and Colin Gregory over at Burleson PD, they were on the show about 2.5 weeks ago, and they're going to be on again in mid-January. We're going to talk about this some more. And they was launching it that day, and it was amazing just how this community does these kind of things. But if you go to a restaurant, you go to our place. I've been told that Old South has them, Texas Bar, Walmart, HEB has these all over the place. And so if you know somebody, plus it's somebody that can access your group.
Yeah.
Okay, because let's say that we're not talking about an abuse case or whatever, but they don't know where to go.
Yes.
And they could put the QR code or get on the web link, or call 817-426-9901. My glasses aren't working too good, but they could call and say, I'm pregnant. I don't know where to go. And they'll send them to you.
Yes, and Stephanie has sent people to us before, and we've had situations where we've needed to call them or One Safe Place,
Right.
and all of those people have been so helpful.
Well, that brings up another point. Now, some of these, I would imagine the majority of these young ladies come in. They're coming in various stages of crisis, but you probably also come across things that are not just unfortunate, but maybe even criminal. What do you do with that?
we call the professionals.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't expect you to go out and solve it, or
Yes.
or send some guy with there with some brass knuckles.
We have a very thorough intake process, and I know sometimes they don't love it, but the first part of our appointment, even if the partner comes in, they're not coming into the same room initially, because we want to observe the situation and ask good questions and make sure everyone's safe. And so that's what we allow. We do a little investigating to make sure everybody's good. But if there's alarms, or if they tell us straight up, we have in the room called One Safe Place with a client and said, this is her situation. How can you help? Or whatever other resource we need to call in the room. Like, we'll do that with them so that they're not alone.
Do you have women that come in that aren't pregnant looking for help like this?
Not generally.
Okay. I just wondered, do they see the title and think it's a women's center for all women's issues?
Yeah. I mean, I can think of like one, maybe two times in the last, I guess, 2.5 years that I feel like that's happened. And again, we'll help. We'll send them to the professionals. We'll call somebody for them and make sure that they get what they need.
A young lady comes in, your counsel with her said she's being beaten by her partner. Do you get involved with the police?
It depends on. We don't do anything without her permission.
Right.
But we do offer some solutions on how to, because sometimes we do offer her solutions. It's complicated, and there's a lot of making sure that we're all doing the safest thing for every client, and then what she wants us to do. You can't always force them to make those calls and things like that. So we offer and we support them, and we walk with them if they'll let us.
Well, one thing I've always noticed about your group is you let the young lady call the shots.
Yes.
That even if you don't like the shot she called.
Yep.
They call the shots. If if they want to have spiritual counseling or not, they want to get the police involved or not, if they want to have the child or not, you don't drive them towards a certain decision.
Never.
And we talked about this one time you were here, you and someone here about a year ago, where NBC News did this heinous episode about how basically you were dragging people in and twisting their arm. I thought, that is just a flat out stinking lie.
It is a flat out stinking lie.
Yeah, I'm sure some days you go home disappointed or even heartbroken about a decision the young lady made, but that was the decision that she made.
Yes. And we're like, one of the things in our training that we're taught and that we talk about over and over is that none of us are the Holy Spirit. None of us are the Lord. None of us can change a heart. We can show up and have the conversations and love them well, and it's up to them and the Lord what happens next. And so we go in the room, we have and it's hard to let go, especially some of us who are problem solvers and like to make things happen. But we have to step back, and it's our job to listen more than we talk. And it's our job to support and show up the best we can. But none of us can control anybody. I mean, as a parent, we really try, but that part doesn't work either.
But they have to know that when they walk in there, they need to know they're not going to be coerced into a decision.
Yes.
And that's a big thing, and I think also what happens, and we talked about this too, is that when they walk in there, they may have one idea, but they want to be talked out of it. They want a reason to keep the child. They want to have hope that, hey, this is not like a dead end, or I don't have any options. And that's what I like so much about your outfit, is that you give them these options, and you give them sonograms, you give them all this, supplies. I was looking at some of your other information you'd sent about nearly 8,300 total client visits. That's a bunch in a 12-month period.
It really is. And that's between our pregnancy tests, our ultrasounds, and then our classes, which our classes range from, I think this month there's one on credit scores, and there's one on budgeting. And then there's like developmental milestones of a toddler, and tantrums. And, it varies because we want them to be set up for success as a parent and have everything that they need to live well in those roles.
I want to go back to something, because I just was looking at your stats.
Yeah.
All right. The majority of your patients are between 15 and 29. if you have a young girl that's coming in at 15 or 16, an illegal act has been performed, has it not? Is it? I mean, that's something illegal has happened if a 15-year-old girl is pregnant.
And that's kind of dicey. It depends on because I wish I would have looked at this before I got here, because there's specific laws and things, and there's spaces where if this age person, I think it's under 15. It might be under 14. If they're under that, then we have to call CPS, but I don't think we do at 15. And then it is dependent on what she tells us.
Well, if the girl was 15 and the boy was 19, that's illegal in this state.
Well, yes.
And I just wondered what your obligations are. I know what my obligation as a teacher would have been. I'm under compulsion of the law, not just my own conscience or whatever, to report it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any options than that.
But if he's 16,
if he's 16, yes, right. But
yeah, well, and that's what it depends on what she tells us and in the room, and it depends on a lot of details that she gives us what we need to report. I want to be real careful about we want people to know that we trust them. If something illegal happened that we are by law mandated to report, we will.
Yeah, Sherry Scott says, mandated reporter. Yeah. We are at a certain point now. Again, and if both the father and the mother are under a certain age, I think that's one set of laws. But if it's like the young man is older than 18 and the young girl is younger than, like 16 or something like that, then there's a law has been broken.
Well, and that's what we have in the room or in the office where the client advocates work. There's a list on what needs to be, what we must report and what we don't like. So I don't want to say anything wrong.
Yeah, right.
Because it's a long list of details that you have to get just right. And I want women to know that we're not just going to call, we're not calling parents. We're not, we're very by the book in who we report to.
Well,
and
I'm sure, and I'm sorry to bring it up like that, but it just struck me because I had that happen 3 or 4 times in my 28 years where, a young girl may want to talk, and the first thing I would say to them is, I can't keep everything confidential.
Yeah.
So you tell me what you want me to know, but understand that if you tell me something of certain types, I may have to just say, I'm sorry, I got to go talk about this.
Yeah.
And usually we're not talking about what we're talking about here. It's usually like abuse type cases or whatever else. And at that point, there's no question what I was. The next step was I'd call the counselor, and then they would call CPS, and then I'd talk to an assistant principal and things like that. We had a whole process, and I know I appreciate the fact you let these young ladies know that, but I know also what your obligations to the law are also going to compel you to do certain things that they may not like, but that's unfortunate.
And that's what it's very specific about what we can and like what we have to report, and so we follow that to a T. And I can tell you that there's only been a couple of situations where we've really felt like in the last 2.5 since I've been there, there's I couldn't even fill up a hand on the times that we've really had to call.
Yeah, I would imagine that is particularly rare, very rare. But it just struck me when I saw your age range here. It also strikes me, between 30 and above, it looks like pretty much almost, a third or more, and just it's a bunch for that age group. But also look at your other things. I didn't really mean to get into the legalities of it, but I think some people
that's a bit different world than I'm in.
Well, I'm sorry, but I think that people probably do need to know that, because I really push hard against this idea that you're doing something clandestine here, and you're trying to talk girls out of getting an abortion and all this. And I know that's not to be the case. Y'all are there, and they call the shots, but sometimes you got to call that shot for them.
Yes, and yes.
So I'm sorry I got onto that.
No, it's okay. And because it is true. There are situations where it's not just up to us. We are submitted to authority in everything we do, whether it be the law or some of our other organizations that help us all kind of make sure we're doing the best that we can do and being the kindest with what we have. Yes, we are very much under authority.
I was just looking here, almost 160,000 diapers distributed.
Yes.
And that's an underestimate, you say.
Yeah, I mean, probably so. Probably so. And that's why I'm like waiting till the last day when everybody's put in all their everything they've given out. It's a whole beast to kind of track everything that goes out of the center. But yeah.
Well, we have a few minutes left. Why don't you tell us what you need right now?
What I need right now? Well, we always need baby items for our boutique. We need diapers, and it's the end of the year. And so if you have a heart to sow into something that's doing kingdom work, that's building foundational families, that's showing up for people who just need a little bit of encouragement, Next Step is a great place to do that. And you can go to nextstepheroes.com and give anytime, but especially right now, we're hoping to get about $50,000 at this end of the year time to help just round out our budget so that we can start strong next year. Next year, we're going to be beefing up our fatherhood program. We need nurses. We need volunteer nurses real bad. We're hiring for a part-time nurse, and we're hoping to get STI testings. We have all the ducks in the row to get STI testing starting in January, but we need nurses to help facilitate that process. We'll be testing and treating, and if she tests positive for a STI, we will offer treatment to partner too. So everyone gets medicine if they need it for free. And what else do we need? We need we need your prayers. We need your prayers. But yeah.
Well, so everything is tax deductible, so we need to remember that part.
And you'll get an email receipt, and you'll get the end of year 2023 receipt in January from us to make sure that you can apply that to your taxes.
Well, we were talking about that before the show, that the deductible's so high, but that's not why I give to the center. It's because it's because I fully believe in your work. I believe what y'all do is so necessary and just a blessing to this community.
Thank you.
And and I encourage them to bring whatever they have, for monetary gifts. You always take diapers.
Always take diapers. Yes.
When you talk about stuff for the boutique, what age group?
Birth to 3T, 4T. And so that's clothes, but then toddler toys, baby toys. We always need toys. Toiletries, baby shampoo, tear-free shampoo, anything like that.
But also you got Rachel's Hope
Rachel's Hope. We always take any kind of... Rachel's Hope is where all of our used items go, and the boutique is all brand new. So if you're at Walmart, grab something for the boutique. If you're cleaning out your closet, take it to Rachel's Hope. Or if you're redecorating and you have furniture or dishes or whatever, that can all go to Rachel's Hope.
Yeah. Well, that'd be great. I mean, if you can keep those stores stocked. I mean, and we have a lot of places to do that. Like I mentioned, Jennifer's going to be here on Thursday, and they've got that going on. And Debbie Beeman at Promises is a regular guest now. And the stories I'm hearing from them are similar to yours. Yeah. Business is booming, which is good.
On one end. And then on the other, we do still need to fund it.
Yeah, right. Right. I mean, you're getting a lot of demand for your services.
Yes.
You have any fundraisers coming up?
Our next event is not a fundraiser. It's more of a friend-raiser, if you will. But Songs and Stories is February 2nd, and it's a worship night and a prayer night. And we're going to share some of the stories of what's happened in 2023. And we'll have some prayer time. We'll have a little service project. You can help pack some of the bags that go out to our clients. A little bit of worship, a little bit of just
February
sharing.
2nd. That's
a Friday.
That's what I thought.
It's a Friday. It'll be at Victory Family Church over by HEB, like John Jones and Hillside.
I think that's right. But it's right there on John Jones. Very big. Got a nice big marquee.
They do.
So it's easy to find.
Yes.
Victory Family Church. I remember the pastor there many, many years ago. Who's the pastor there now?
I think it's the same pastor. I've only talked with the children's pastor, who is Daniel Bianchi, but I don't know.
The Bass is the last name for the pastor? That was about 20-something years ago.
Yeah, no, it's the same pastor. I was there the other day, and I spoke with his wife. This is so terrible.
I know. I do the same thing all the time. You're Robin, right?
Yeah, okay. His wife was telling me about, we've been here since 96, and they were over where Twin Peaks is now. That's where they were. And then they moved, and now they're in that beautiful building. It's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
It's a great size, and they've been really kind and generous to us
February
with
2nd.
it.
So it's more like just I don't know, for lack of a better word, spiritual pep rally to kind of lift your spirits.
It is a spiritual pep rally.
Yeah, okay.
It's so, last year we did it at Pathway. It was so good. It was so much fun. We had a good turnout. The people who came loved packing the bags. And I brought my kids, other people brought their kids, and they all had time to do the service project. They enjoyed the prayer time. We kind of keep it moving. It's only going to be an hour and 15-ish minutes. So it's a good way to spend an evening. Bring your small group from church. Everybody come. That can be your meeting that week.
Get that off your schedule.
I'll just take that week for you. You just come over with us at Victory Family. The worship leader is going to be Joshua Miller from Lifegate over kind of near Hughes on Thomas. But I'm working on getting some other pastors to take prayer moments and things like that. So
okay,
yeah.
And of course, the Walk for Life was probably going to be
April 20th.
Yeah, it's April. The last time was in June, was it not?
It was.
Right,
Wasn't that silly of us?
Yeah, well, April 20th. So.
April 20th is Walk for Life, and we'll start church liaisons, people who want to connect their church with us. We'll have a breakfast on January 27th at Oak Grove. And so if you want to come to that, you can message here. You can message me on Facebook because I'm sure I'm tagged in something. Or give us a call at the center, 817-295-4101.
You having a diaper drive with City Market anytime soon?
I need to call them.
Yeah.
I don't have that on the schedule, but I should get it on the schedule.
Yeah, well, Kurt's pretty good about that kind of thing.
He is. They're so busy. They have like a generous thing happening like every month.
Yeah.
So they're amazing.
They are a community grocery store.
They are. They are.
Well, it's been great talking to you again. I guess I got a little sidetracked with all the legality stuff, but I think it's, for me personally, it's important for the listeners to know just how above board everything you do is. Because, we talk about the negative publicity. The people that, look at what you're trying to do is, a form of coercion, and that just gets all over me.
Yeah.
I get so angry about that because I know how much you and Summer and the rest of these people put into this, and how you do everything possible to make the young lady feel like they're in control of a situation they feel like they're not in control of, and they have choices, they have options, and I just wanted people to know just how ethical you run this clinic, because I don't know. I really got angry about those news stories. Yeah. Particularly when Dobbs.
We did too.
Yeah, when Dobbs came out, that decision came out, you had all these stories about, and I thought that was heinous propaganda from media.
Yeah, and it really is. Especially, we work in a group where we kind of bounce ideas off of and have relationships with a lot of the pregnancy care centers in the area, and we really try. There's not a person in there who I feel like is pushy or coercive or has a heart to be manipulative, but really they all have a heart to support women.
Y'all are a shining star in this community, and I appreciate it. I hope you have a great Christmas. I know you got the kids, and it's going to be a lot of great times with them. Yeah. When they're little, they're still fun. When they get older, it's like, I'll just take money. Okay, thanks. Taylor, are you going to be able to make it to your appointment on time?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, like I said, we'll be here Thursday. Next week, we're obviously not going to do it on Christmas Day because,
What?
Yeah, well, okay, we can.
Would you like to work, sir?
Yeah. But next week, we're going to have the Mixie Chicks and we're going to have Camille. So we got some stuff for the rest of the year. It's going to be lots of fun. Thank you for what you do, and thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All righty. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.
Bye.